Welcome to the Lauren Blackwell channel. Today I'm going to talk about Anna Wintour and this rumor about her leaving Vogue. I'm not sure who started this rumor, but it spread like wildfire that Anna Wintour would be leaving Vogue and her employment with Condé Nast. By the way, if anyone is like me and always wondered what Condé Nast meant and you thought it had like some special meaning or something, it's just the name of the founder of the media company that owns Vogue amongst other brands. So his name is Condé Montrose Nast. He founded the company and he actually passed away a long time ago in like 1942, I believe. So yeah, it is just his name. Also, another thing that I used to think about Vogue, I don't know why I thought this. I always thought that their main office, their headquarters was in France. But it's actually in the One World Trade Center in Manhattan, New York. I don't know. I just assumed it was overseas for some reason. Anyway, she was editor-in-chief of American Vogue, but she was actually promoted, and now she will be the global editorial director for Vogue. So it is quite a leap that she has taken. Her career started at the age of 15, and it seems as though, although she has had some up and downs, if you follow her career you would see that, but overall the trajectory of her career has been elevating ever since she started. So no, she is not leaving Vogue. I doubt that Anna Wintour would ever leave Vogue. She is just as much a part of Vogue as Vogue is a part of her. Honestly, sometimes I wonder who has the most impact on whom. Did Vogue have more impact on Anna Wintour, or did Anna Wintour have the most impact on Vogue? Because when she started in Vogue, she made drastic changes. When she became the editor-in-chief, she made some drastic changes that a lot of people did not trust was going to lead the company to the heights that it currently is. But so far, as we can all see, the changes that she has made has been very, very beneficial to the company. So she is no longer the head of editorial content in just the US, but she is now the head of editorial content globally. They have not yet, as at the time that I'm making this video, they have not announced who will succeed her in that position, but whoever it is will be reporting to Anna Wintour, as well as all of the editor-in-chief of all the other Vogue companies across the world will be reporting to her. So if anything, she is going deeper into her position. She is not really stepping down. She has been with Condé Nast since the 80s. She became editor-in-chief in 1988. I used to think that she started out as a model and then she worked her way into working with Vogue and became editor-in-chief, but that was actually not her beginning. She actually has been focused on working with magazines and media companies from the very beginning, ever since she was about 15 years old. And her father did a similar work with a different company, and he helped her a lot in guiding her into this career path and helping her along the way until she was able to stand by herself. And they even used to bounce ideas back and forth because they work in similar field. When Anna Wintour started working with Condé Nast, she was not very much as welcomed as she is currently. She was not as respected as she is currently. Condé Nast is a huge, basically a media company. They have tons of platforms. They own a lot of brands, including Vogue, The New Yorker, Vanity Fair, Architectural Digest, GQ, and Condé Nast Traveler. Amongst others, I'm sure they have some other brands out there as well. But yeah, she became editor-in-chief in 1988, and she made a lot of changes when she first came, to where people were actually scared of the changes that she was making. So before she came, the style of specifically the Vogue cover, the cover pictures were they were usually headshots. They're very close-up headshots of these models, well-known models that appear to look very glamorous, very beautiful pictures. If you look at the pictures, they're all stunning. The covers for Vogue in the 80s and previously, but they're very close headshots. There are very few body shots and very few elements outside of the model's face. When Anna Wintour started, she changed that drastically, to where she started to show more of, first of all, she started to use less famous models. Okay, before she started to use more famous celebrities, she started to use less famous models on the cover, which was a shock because a lot of the readers did not know who the models were. They were still very pretty, but she showed more of the body of the models instead of just headshots. She showed their surrounding, the areas around the models, and a lot of the photos were taken outside. So she incorporated more elements that one would consider unusual, such as sometimes the models who wear very inexpensive clothing, and one piece of clothing that would stand out will be very, very expensive. So Anna Wintour would mix expensive with inexpensive. She used models that were not very famous, still very pretty though. It was less glamorous in a sense because she showed some street wear. If you see even her very first Vogue cover, when she took over, the photo caused quite a bit of controversy because the model was wearing jeans. Okay, the jeans was inexpensive, but the shirt was very expensive. And she had the classic unexpected article of clothing paired with the usual articles of clothing that you see Anna Wintour wear, and she talks about it sometimes where she says be a little unexpected, and you can see that in the model's outfit. She had on jeans, she barely had any makeup on, or at least it looked that way. It looked like she barely had makeup on, and she just looked quite carefree. Her hair was kind of tousled. It wasn't as done up and glamorous in the classical sense that Vogue covers used to have. She was outside. She just looked free, and specifically the jeans caused quite a controversy, and people were afraid and were thinking, they were confused at what she was doing. But it worked because a lot of people dressed that way, so a lot of people could relate to that, a lot of the readers, and gradually people started to take to the ideas that she was putting forth. The fact that she was demanding in what she wanted to see, and the fact that when she started, she fired a lot of people and changed up the staff a lot. They actually at some point were calling her Nuclear Wintour, and it is because of the drastic changes that she was making when she started. They had nicknames for her. Based on what I have heard, and found, it seems that she's more focused on the pictures of the people that are featured in the magazine than she is in the reviews of their clothing or in the writing. The writing, it seems that she delegates that to other people, to her staff, her assistants, but she is more focused on the pictures. So I think that is her thing, putting the fashion aspects together, not so much the reviewing of what the clothes look like. Whatever she did, it worked because a lot of her vision came to light and it stood the test of time throughout all of these years. So here's what I want to say though. I think that her stepping away from this role is a good thing because she has been in this role for many, many years. And even though her method works, I think that when someone is in a particular position for a very long time, they may become so comfortable in the way that they do things, especially if it works. They become so comfortable that it becomes monotonous and expected, and it loses the sense of surprise that it used to have when it first started. Speaking of getting too comfortable, do you guys know that she's been wearing her hairstyle that way, that bob, since she was 15 years old? I don't think I've personally seen her wear her hair differently since she was 15. Can you imagine wearing the exact same hairstyle from the age of 15 till the age of 70 something? I think she's in her 70s now. I'm not sure. I didn't check. But my goodness, I couldn't do it. Some people can't even wear the same hairstyle for 3 consecutive weeks. But she's worn hers for years. That is crazy. She must really like that hairstyle. Times change, fashions change, a lot of things change in the media industry, and I think it is a good thing for her to step away so that someone else with a different vision can come in while still having Anna Wintour's input, because Anna will still overlook the work of whoever comes in and takes over that role after she leaves. So I think it would allow for a more dynamic expression of fashion, and it will allow a fresh face to come in and introduce elements that isn't currently being introduced. I think that there are so many ways to show glamour and elegance that it's like a language, you know. There are so many languages that can be used to say different things, and fashion is the same way. There's so many ways to express glamour and elegance, and I think that even though Anna Wintour has done a great job, it still seems quite narrow in the way that they interpret elegance and glamour. In the same way that previously, before Anna Wintour took over, there was a set way that they interpreted glamour. They showed a lot of headshots, very little body shots, and it was very glamorous. If you see those photos, they all look very stunning, right? Very pretty pictures. And I'm talking about the covers for Vogue prior to 1988 when Anna Wintour took over. But when Anna Wintour came in and she interpreted glamour, or she showed glamour and elegance in a different way. She showed more of the models on the cover, and she showed it in a way where they were interacting with their environment. They weren't just like statues sitting there looking glamorous. They were interacting. You could see other things in the background. You can see outside. When they're outside, you can see their environment, and it was almost more interactive. Even though there were pictures, not videos, it seemed like they were interacting with their environment, and the models still looked very elegant. They looked very glamorous, very pretty, And that is her way of showing glamour and elegance. And I think that with her stepping aside, the next person hopefully will have a different way of showing glamour and elegance and not just continue what Anna Wintour already started. That would add to the library of ideas that Vogue brings into the fashion world, you know? Hopefully it's something drastically different, but still able to maintain that glamour that Vogue is known for. Her successor will have big shoes to fill though, because Anna Wintour has had such a huge impact in fashion. And the thing about the people that are hired into these kinds of roles, they're not taken from a different world than the Vogue world. That person will probably come from the Vogue world. So I can't help but feel that the impact of Anna Wintour will be seen in this new person's work. And who knows, it might be a gradual transition where you'll see more of Anna Wintour's work for the next, I don't know, couple of years, and then gradually the new person begins to show their own expressions of glamour and elegance more and more as they continue to work with Vogue. I don't know, but we'll see. It'll be interesting. There was a lot of people that were mourning that Anna Wintour was leaving Vogue, and it's a huge deal. She's been with Condé Nast for a long time, 30 something years, 37, 36. How long has she been with Vogue? This has been her longest employment. Prior to working with Vogue, she would work with a company for a few years, something would go wrong, and then she would have to leave. But it seems like Vogue has been her home now for a very long time. I doubt that she would be leaving anytime soon, especially since she's climbing higher up on the ladder and she's now overseeing their global works. I do not think that she will be leaving Vogue anytime soon. So rest assured, those people that really like her, she's still going to be around. So yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say in this video. Anna Wintour is not leaving Vogue. She's not stepping down really from her role. She's going further up in her role. She will still be overlooking whoever takes over from her. That's all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.